Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks to my buddy Mr. JJ Conroy, who sent along this Neca Ultimate Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 Dream Warriors. I get to do a review on this figure for you now, so thank you so much, JJ. There's a little note here included. Said, hope you enjoy having this figure, love the channel, long may it continue, JJ. Thank you, JJ. Oh man, this is awesome. Thank you so much, man. This is one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I don't know what my favorite is. It'll probably be the first one, and then probably this one. I do like. I mean, my favorite look for Freddy, as I've said before on the channel, is the Part 2 look. I just think that's the best he's ever looked. But this is very, very, very up there as well. Beautiful packaging. Obviously, it's got the one of the film posters. Artwork is really, really cool. If you think you're ready for Freddy, think again. But a very cool poster. But yeah, I think you got the house on Elm Street there. What is it? Oh yeah, it is the house. I had to look at my actual eyes. But yeah, on the side here you got the souls all in his chest and stomach. That's grim. And then on the back, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors. The last of the Elm Street kids are now at a psychiatric ward where Freddy haunts their dreams with unspeakable horrors. Their only hope is dream researcher and fellow survivor Nancy Thompson, who helps them battle the supernatural psycho on his own hellish turf. Awesome, there's the piece there. You also get that really creepy puppet Freddy and the house that you see getting built at the beginning. And I think if you shine a light, from the videos I've seen from other YouTubers over the years, I think if you shine a light in the back of one of these heads here, you can get that cross to glow. So what's that say there? Includes puppet house hat, interchangeable hands, heads, and a sweater to reveal chest of souls. Awesome. So I've got the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 Freddy Ultimate figure, and I've got the Part 2 Ultimate figure, but I didn't have this one, so thanks JJ, because this is the one I was missing. I wonder if Neca will ever make 4 and 5 and Freddy's Dead and all that stuff. I know they've done loads of retro cloth versions as well. So I've got quite the Freddy collection, but there's still so many out there. So many different versions. So yeah, let me get him out. There's a quick look at your credits there for everyone involved in bringing this piece to us. Well done to those guys. Alright, let's turn him loose, bust him free. Thanks again, JJ. This is awesome, man. Alright, so here is everything you get. You got the spare head. And Freddy looks really nasty on this version of the figure. Sweater is done really, really well as usual. And you got 3 different hands. So for both hands you've got the ungloved syringed fingered hand, and then the gloved syringed fingers, and then the regular Freddy glove, the chest of souls which will clip on and interchange there, the hat, the fedora looks good, and there's the house, very nicely done. Then there's that creepy puppet Freddy. Oh man, this is good. This is good. Alright, so there he is. He's not the best looking Freddy head sculpt I've seen. The ones from the Freddy's Revenge Part 2, like the likeness on those heads, absolutely perfect. I remember the first one as well from the original movie didn't look exactly like Freddy. I think Part 2 so far is the one where they really nailed that. And this one's a little bit sketchy as well, but I mean it's still obviously Freddy, but it's kind of like a bit more of a, just to me it looks a bit more of a stylized version or something, like an interpretation of it. And this head sculpt here, that's very cool, very freaky looking. That's probably the one I prefer out of these two. If I shine the light behind, yeah, there you go, see, the light's up, or at least the light comes through, so you could, you know, get a warmer sort of torch or something, have it behind him when you're taking pictures, and that'll look really cool. But that's, you know, painted and sculpted really well. Oh, looks really wet and nasty. That's a very good one. Yeah, I'll definitely rock this one. Have that head sculpt with the chest of souls showing, and that will really set this figure apart from the other Freddys in the collection. That's really freaky as well. Look at that. Ugh, all the faces. 1, 2, 3, 4 faces is what I'm seeing there. Ugh, it's like linguini. Ugh. And these hands are done really well. The gloved hand with the syringes. painted and sculpted very well there. And the hand with the syringes coming out, that's also very well done. So we'll try out all these different looks. Take a quick look at the house here. Yep. It's done very well too. Hasn't been, she's not finished painting it yet. And then onto the last piece, which is this freaky little puppet Freddy. And that little blood stand that you can detach from his foot if you want. So that's optional. That's sculpted really well too. So overall, some really cool goodies with this Freddy figure. Now, because of the fact that you can remove the front of the sweater here to interchange with this one, you do get those kind of lines at the shoulder, and you press it together really hard and it will still be quite obvious that that sort of comes away, but most of the time you're going to be seeing it from like this angle, so you don't really see it. You're not really going to be looking at him from above unless you've got him on a low shelf, in which case I just recommend putting him on like an eye level shelf or above, something like that. But the colours are really well done here, and the sculpt of the sweater, the stitching and all that, and the weathering around the edges, really nicely done. I mean, there's other Freddy figures. If you don't want this kind of seam showing, then maybe get part 2. I mean, overall, if you're going to ask me if you're only going to get one Ultimate Freddy 7-inch figure from Neca, which one should you get? I'd say part 2. Even though this is a better movie, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors for sure. But I just love the look of Freddy from part 2. I'll bring him in a minute and show you just comparison. I'll probably just do that now and get it over with. Let me just get him. Get him. Did you guys check out the recent video where I showed you the new werewolf setup? Check that out on the channel if you haven't seen it. Here's the Freddy I'm talking about. And all the horror guys. All the horror stuff. Man, I was tempted today to order another 3 of those to utilize all the different heads. Tempted, but I can't do it. That's way too much money. So yes, here is part 2 Freddy. And yeah, I mean, they're both excellent. Just think that this is 100% him. I mean, look how nasty that is. That is just pure Freddy right there from part 2. Very evil looking. And I think he came with like 3 or 4 different heads. Got his bag of accessories in the chest of the desk here. Alright. So the colours, I mean, it seems like a brighter sweater on part 3 Freddy compared to part 2. Part 2 is a bit more sort of darkened and just overall more nasty and aggressive looking. And bring the light right above them. There you go. So yeah, I just think the part 3 one looks a bit more cartoony in the face than the part 2. Part 2 looks very accurate and very real to the movie to me. The hat seems to fit a bit better on the part 2. Interesting. But I'll bring you another Freddy Fest video soon, guys. Now that this one's here, thanks to JJ, I'll do a big Freddy special with all the Freddy stuff on the desk here together. So that'll be coming up on the channel in the near future. I've also got another video I'm planning on doing to help a lot of you out with blood. That sounds weird. But yeah, for the longest time, for many years, I've been kind of had to make it up myself when I want to put, you know, fake blood on a figure to make it look bloody, or a knife or something like that for Michael Myers. I usually have to just mix paints together and try and get it to look like blood, and it never really works. I did find the right stuff to use when it dries and looks wet, and it's the real stuff that you're supposed to use for fake blood. And I'll bring you a video on that soon, because I've got a spare, a second American Werewolf in London, Kessler Wolf, coming to do some mods to, and I've got the blood to do it now, and I'm going to show you guys the blood to use and how to use it, and it's going to be very helpful, I think, to a lot of people in the community, because I myself was stuck for so long as to what to use for fake blood on figures and accessories. So I'll bring that video to you soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. Just make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. That way you'll get the emails every time I upload a new video and you won't miss out. Make sure you're following me on Instagram as well, DKnight333. But that's those two together. Prefer the part 2, but they're both excellent. While I'm at it, here's part 1 Freddy from Neca. That's a very creepy looking Freddy figure as well. It's very different from the others. You see like the way the sweater kind of hangs on his body a bit more skinny, very creepy looking. But yeah, again, just a little bit kind of funky looking when it came to the lightness, like this one. But this one I think is very, very close to the movie, the real kind of Robert Englund Freddy. And that's part 1 Freddy, part 3 and part 2. Should really put part 2 in the middle because put them in sequence. Go ahead and put you over there. Let's put your arm down because you're too different from everyone else with your raised arm. There you go. So, part 1, part 2, part 3. Which one do you think looks best? And why, sir, madam? Creatures of the night. Alright, so now before I start changing the head sculpt over and stuff, let's just get a really good look at this head with the hat on at different angles. See his teeth. And let's remove the hat and just see the whole head. It's definitely really well painted and a good sculpt. It's just the likeness I think is a little bit somewhere else on this one. It doesn't look like Robert Englund Freddy to me. It looks like Freddy, but a weird kind of version of him. I'm just trying to find an angle where I can see Robert, but I ain't getting it. Maybe a little bit there. Maybe a little bit. I do like it though. Alright, let's try the other head sculpt. Alright, now there he is. In all his evil glory with his crucifix on his forehead and his arms raised up, just cackling, laughing away. Let's remove the hat and then we'll get the light down here. Get it low. And yeah, it's a pretty cool effect. I mean, you should make it darker, really. There you go. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really got the light set up properly for it, but you get the idea. It just, shines through his head. Yeah, I prefer this head sculpt. I mean, regardless of the crucifix on the forehead, I just prefer this expression. A bit more extreme. Very cool. Very evil. Alright, so let's take a close-up look at this. Yeah, definitely prefer this one out of the two heads. They're both painted to the same high level. And I just noticed his it's not a major problem, I can just glue that back on again, but this dropped off. It's like the glove is in two sections, like this bit that will just clip back into that section of the hand there. I might just super glue that on later. I need to change his hands over anyway. But this looks very, that looks freaky. God, that is evil. Definitely take some pictures from that angle with the light shining through the head. That just looks so, just pure evil. Man, that is intense. Huh. Oh God, it's giving me the creeps. Alright, so that basically just comes off like that, and then we'll put this one on. Obviously just stick these into the holes, press it on, and very good to go. And use both hands for that little thing. Oh no, don't need to. No, we're good. Did it. And this is more flush when you put it together than the regular kind of look for the sweater. This side, maybe that's because the arm's raised. Hang on. Ooh. Yep, that's pretty flush. Yeah, I like it. Wow. That is different. That's the first time I've had a Freddy that looks like that. at that. Ugh. Wet looking. Looks wet. Slimy. It's so flush. Very cool. I like that. Where's my fingers? They fell off, mate. We're gonna swap them around for you. Let's get you some syringe, hand, gloves, fingers. Let's do all that. Let's go for the syringe fingers, Soul's chest, and maybe hatless because I don't want to cover up that cross. But yeah, what a cool piece, man. This is very, very cool. Certainly lives up to the name Ultimate Figure. And I just got the little puppet Freddy. That's a pretty good way to display him, so at least he's standing up straight and won't fall over. Just kind of have him between Freddy's legs there. You know, just to remind you, under no uncertain terms, this is the Dream Warriors version of Freddy. Now, I don't think it's accurate to have the syringe fingers going with the chest of souls showing. So I remember that scene in the alleyway outside, like a back of a club or whatever. And he had his regular sweater look for that bit. But I'm just going to rock him like this, I think, for a little while anyway. But yes, there you go, with your syringe fingers on both hands. And Puppet Freddy at his feet. So, all in all, folks, out of 10, I'd give this figure, well, you know, I'm not mad keen on the likeness on this head, but it's still a good head sculpt for Freddy. I mean, certain angles, like there, looks pretty damn good. So I'm thinking like a 9 out of 10. Why not? Because he came with the Puppet Freddy, 2 heads, chest of souls, which works really well on the figure, and all these different hands, even the little house as well. Beautiful display box, and there is a backdrop in the box that you can use for photography, like a corridor with some light coming out of it and stuff. Nothing too exciting, but it is nice that it's there. So I'm thinking like a 9 out of 10 for you know, as Freddy Neca figures go. Not my favorite one, like I said, part 2 would be my favorite so far, but this is up there, one of those essential Freddy pickups you need to get. And I slept on it for so long that it took Mr. JJ Conroy to swoop in, wings spread, and save the day. So thanks, JJ. So yeah, 9 out of 10 from me. And look out for Freddy Fest coming soon on the channel, and also the blood, fake blood for your figures tips video coming soon as well. That's going to be a helpful one to a lot of people, I think, in the community. Alright, drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at DKnight333. Thanks again to JJ. Thank JJ if you want in the comments for making this video possible. And yeah, really, really awesome to get this. Thank you again, my friend, for such an awesome gift. Alright guys, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.